Hi, this is for Ariel and David, Chaim, Meital, Danielle, Maya, and Leah. So we are holding at the end of the year, and Parsha LHaazinu is coming up. It's before Yom Kippur, and it's a very strange story told in the Midrash, which seems to have nothing to do with the Parsha. But I have a hunch as to what it's about. So let me share with you this story. It's about two brothers. One is very wealthy. He has only one child, a beautiful daughter. But unfortunately, she had some misfortunes in her life. 3 times she got married, and 3 times her husband died the wedding night. So it became apparent to her that she could no longer get married. Far away on the other side of the world, her father had a brother who had 10 sons. Unfortunately, they were very, very poor. They were woodcutters. They struggled and barely able to scrape enough money to eat. The oldest brother couldn't stand the pain in his father's eyes of all the suffering and coming up empty and coming up short every day with money to pay for food. He decided he was going to take this long journey and visit his uncle and see if he could improve the family's financial lot. So he comes to his uncle and he's greeted with open arms, very warmly, and he meets for the first time his cousin, his beautiful cousin. And after a while, he falls in love with her, and he finally gets up the courage and he says to his uncle, I have a question for you. I would like you to just say yes and not even think about it. And his uncle was so thrilled. Listen, if you want a loan, you want an outright grant, anything, we love you. We're so happy to have you here. What would you like? And he says, I want to marry your daughter. And of course, there was dead silence. And his uncle said, I'm really sorry. I would be so thrilled if you could marry my daughter, but let me tell you what happened and why she's not getting married again. And even after hearing the story, he said, I don't care. I want to marry her. I'll take my chances. I'm not afraid. And he kept being very persuasive, and his daughter agreed. They decided to get married. So the wedding day came, and the Midrash tells us outright that one of the elderly guests, was Eliyahu Navi, Elijah the prophet. And he came up to the groom and he said, listen, there's going to be a man who's going to show up uninvited at your wedding. He's going to look horrendous. His personal habits are horrendous. And I want you to seat him at the head of the table. Make sure he eats well and he's well cared for. And he left. Sure enough, this disgusting looking man shows up, and the groom girded himself and went up to him and said, I'd be so honored if you'd sit at the head of the table. What can I get you? You missed the first course. I'm going to get you everything to eat. And he was very, very nice to the man. Right after the wedding ceremony, this very disgusting looking man came up to the groom and said, come aside, I need to talk to you. So they went aside in a room, and he says, I am the angel of death. I've come to take you. And the groom said, are you kidding me? Can I have a week, the week of, the Sheva Brachot? Can I have the week with my new bride? And he said, no, tonight, now. He said, well, how about one day? Can I have one day? No, you're coming now. He says, well, can I at least say goodbye? She's in another room talking to other guests. Can I say goodbye to her? He said, yes, I will grant you that. And so he goes to the other room, And he whispers to his bride, he says, I love you, and I took a chance. I knew it was possible that things wouldn't work out, but I so much wanted to marry you. But I have terrible news. In the other room is the angel of death, and he's insisting that I come now. And she said, you stay here. I want to talk to him alone. And she went in and closed the door, and she said to him, you have no right to do this. It says in the Torah that when a man marries a woman, he has a whole year where he has to gladden her heart. In fact, he's exempt from going to war. Among the other exemptions, if you just, built a house, and if you just sowed a field, if you just got married, you don't even have to go to a voluntary war. You're supposed to gladden the first year. Is very special in your relationship. And that's what it says in the Torah. If you want to take my husband now, it means you are denying the veracity of the Torah. I'm going to take you to a heavenly court. This is not happening. And the man was appalled. The bride's prayers broke through, shook the heavens, and God told the angel of death, go, get out of here. And so the bride and groom went home, and in the middle of the night, the parents got up as they had done 3 times before, and they went outside and they dug a grave, figuring what's going to change. But lo and behold, they got up in the morning and the groom was still alive. And there was great joy. And that's how the story ends. The question is, what does it have to do with anything? And I think the answer is very simple. This parsha comes out before Yom Kippur. The Midrash is trying to say, when you pray for your life on Yom Kippur, don't be meek about it. Be strong about it. Tell God what you think, what's right and wrong, what you deserve, what you rightfully deserve. Just pray hard. Your life is at stake. Pray hard and don't be afraid. Have a relationship with God where you feel like you can say anything and you can really reveal your innermost thoughts and you can be successful. So I pray to you all that you all find a way to have this kind of relationship with God and pray to God, and may all your prayers be answered. Much love. Good Shabbos.